welcome to another tutorial by Vemza, and in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make reflections in Photoshop. Now this technique can be used with text and images, and for those of you who aren't really aware of the use of reflections, I'm going to show you a few examples on popular websites. Okay, so the first website I'm on is yucca.co.uk, very popular for selling clothes and accessories. This is a watch they're trying to sell, and if you haven't already realised, there's actually a slight reflection being used under the photo of the watch. Now maybe this isn't eye-catching, but it does give the image a glow, I would say. It makes it look more superior than it would without the reflection. I'm going to show you another example on the Apple website, and under their little thumbnails or little images they have on this page, they have a slight reflection. I'll just zoom in a bit for you. They have a little reflection under each one. Again, it's very subtle, yet it seems to be very effective and very heavily used by many people. Let's get back to Photoshop, and I'm going to start by showing you how to do this using text, and then I'll move on to show you how to do it with images. So once you have your text layer up, your next step would be to duplicate this layer. Now you can either do this by right clicking on the layer and selecting duplicate layer, or you can hold down the Alt option on your keyboard and drag down the layer directly below it. Once you've done that, we need to flip this new layer upside down. Make sure that layer is highlighted. You go to Edit, Transform and Flip Vertical. Now it's starting to look a bit more like a reflection. The next stage is to select the layer mask icon, which is at the bottom of the layer options, and you'll see this little white box come up. Now how layer mask works is it works with whites and blacks. Whites, you can see whites, and blacks are transparent, so that's what kind of is helpful about using them for reflections. So when doing this, make sure that white is your foreground and black is your background color. Okay, so once we've done this, we select our gradient tool. If it's not your gradient tool, it will be a paint bucket tool. You just right click and select your gradient tool. Once you have your gradient tool selected, make sure you have your white to black selected, linear, normal mode and opacity at 100%. Okay, so before we use the gradient tool, use your arrow keys on your keyboard to bring the new layer closer to the original layer. Try not to cover the thin white line that you should leave. This is probably enough. It doesn't need to be too far away or too close, so just leave your thin white line, which kind of helps give it that realistic touch. Now back to your gradient tool. Because the R sticks out, you're better off using an E, which is, or an F, or whatever letter you want, but choose a letter that's in line with the majority of the letters. So in this case I'm just going to use the E. I'm going to hold down Shift, and starting from the top of the E, I'm going to work my way to the bottom and let go. If you've seen any of my previous tutorials about using gradients, it's very similar process. Okay, now once we've got this done, we head over to the opacity of the layer, and what you want to do, you want to bring that down to about 30%. You can always experiment and find the right kind of opacity to suit what you're doing, but I usually stick to about 30%. And here you can see it's looking pretty good. It's a subtle yet effective reflection. I'm going to head over and show you how to do that with an image now. Just referring quickly back to the examples I've just shown you, with an image it's slightly different to doing a reflection with text, because with an image you kind of just select the bottom quarter of the image to reflect rather than reflecting the whole image. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's pretty much the same process. You make a duplicate of the layer you have at the moment. I'm just going to use the Photoshop logo as it's relevant to the Photoshop tutorials. So I'm going to hold down the Alt option, I'm going to bring down the new layer, and then I'm going to head over to Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical, and then using my arrows on my mouse, on my keyboard, sorry, I'm going to bring it up and make sure there's a thin white line. Now what you can do is you can create a layer mask if you like, and create a gradient to make your reflection, but like I just mentioned earlier, using the whole image to reflect kind of stands out a bit too much and takes away from the good look. So I'm just going to undo that, and I'm just going to leave the final the top quarter of the reflection, and I'm just going to select this tool right here, and just do a selection around the majority and just press delete, and that will just get rid of it. So once we've done that and we have the top quarter which we want to reflect, we now go back to our gradient tool, hold down shift from the top and just bring it down, and there we go. It's a nice subtle reflection, but it gets the desired effect, and at the same time it looks realistic. So anyone out there that want to design logos for websites or anything, just keep this great little tip in mind. Thanks for watching, and I hope you're looking forward to my next tutorial.